Good morning, everybody. Why do we do this? Why do we do this in the morning? I'll tell you why we do it in the morning. It's because there's a prime time for me to upload, and I wanted to stream before we did the Metal Gear Survive premiere. And, I'll tell you right now, it's way too fucking early. I like streaming in the afternoon. I think it creates a more chill atmosphere. This is kind of stressful, you know? So, thought we would chat. Thought we would do a bit of work on their meme mod. And then, in an hour, when this hell ends, we'll retire. We'll go watch the premiere. I'm not doing anything with that horse. I am the horse. Okay, let's just start setting this up here. First of all, we got this guy. Nice, nice. That's the thumbnail on the second channel video of the rejected outro. It seemed to be too violent. I will admit it's a pretty clever idea, but I had to put a tamer version in the video. So then we'll put up the chat. There you guys are. You can see we've spaced things out so you're not taking up too much space with the horse. And then, boom. There we go. Working on in the Oblivion CS today. I'd rather be working in the Morrowind CS, but, well, people don't play Morrowind. No, they used to not to, but I proved that I had an impact on the sales and playtime of Morrowind. Maybe not the sales, but... So I'm trying to add a shop to the mod. You see, Oblivion uses these pretty ingenious things. What I didn't understand was, I think the idea was that you would have everything that the merchant owned in the physical space so that it could be stolen. And then somebody was like, yeah, but what if we put the stuff out of the physical space? And it's like, well, why wouldn't you just like have a table then? A table of all the information of what's in the box. Like, it doesn't make sense. I don't know how to open the container. I can see the container. But again, I'm not getting a table of what's in it. Unless it calls to something. I don't know. I'll have to mess with this later. Because I was putting a merchant shop in the, after the 10th dungeon. But, let's move on. Let's see. Where does this end? I think it's Redmond. Nope. I bet that's Fort Redmond. Yep, look at that. But I haven't edited Fort Redmond, so... Fort Carmala? I haven't edited that one either. I don't know where it ends. I think, oh, Black Boot. I have it highlighted. Is it Fort? Come on. Fort Black Boot? Yes. Yes, it is. The way this works is pretty simple. Let me just pull up the chat again. Gotta figure a way to set this up because I need to see my spreadsheet. 1 second, you guys are kind of goofy. All right. When people say that Oblivion is made up of Legos, they have no idea. No idea. All right, so this hooks up to this dungeon. So specifically this trapdoor. Is that right? No, I just happened to see a trapdoor just like this. And then pull up Fort Black Boot. Has one layer, one level. Oh no. I hate one level dungeons. Where's this fucker end? Who gets the money nowadays if Morrowind sells? ZeniMax. And then Microsoft. So I hate this particular piece. This is a really difficult piece to work with, in my opinion. Wait. What's this door? Did I add this? This is coming back to me. You gotta give me a second here. I did add this. I think this is the end. Yeah. This was the end I came up with. Unfortunately for you guys, it is no longer the end. Ha. So the next one is Crumbling Mine. Mm-hmm. Yes, Crumbling Mine. And you can always tell where the entrance to mines are because they use this. This is such a hack job way of doing it. This is how they fake the like light seeping in through the door. Is you just put this really small skybox behind a cone. Alright, so this is going to go to the world. Fortunately, not anymore. Instead, we're going to send it to Fort Black Boot. And then... Oh, this is the part we have to guess. Look at that, we guessed right. It's almost like I did this 50 times. And I started figuring out what corresponds to what. So whenever you put markers down, they're always in the door, like that. Which is fine. Players can get out of it, but I always thought it was weird. It seems like you'd be able to kind of, as part of the prefabricated door asset, set where the marker will always be, because you know that there's like thousands of doors in Oblivion. So even just a couple seconds for each of those is still a considerable amount of time. All right. We've officially added Crumbling Mine to the lineup. Now we look up Crumbling Mine. And yes, mines are different than caves. It has one layer, one level. It ends in a sewer, question mark? Yeah, what the fuck? Okay, someone's big idea for a level end was, I'm gonna have it like collapse cave, and you'll be able to look into the collapse cave, and you'll be able to see like a sewer area. I guess they really wanted to be sure that they got use out of those assets, because there's only actually like 3 sewer areas in Oblivion. You never hear people bring up that like there's these sewer assets, and then like there's that like half Imperial, half Alien asset that they have. You know, the one that's in like the introduction and then shows up like in the Dark Brotherhood quest where you go back to that same area, and then like the first or second quest in Knights of the Nine, that's it. Inefficiencies don't matter if everyone has overspec'd PCs. I'm not talking about efficiency on the player's part. I'm talking about efficiency from a design perspective. This is a leveled creature. This is what they look like. This is level list 1, bandit boss, level 100. Which just calls these 5 guys. I don't think it'll ever call the template. It might. But, yeah. So rather than putting a bandit down, they just put a thing down that said that a generic bandit boss is here. Well, frankly, I'm not impressed with this. Oh, I think the story they're trying to tell is like they're mining into the Imperial sewers. Also during the last Thieves Guild quest. Yes. There are some unique sewer assets in that last Thieves Guild quest too. And that was always the thing to me, was they don't have enough assets to really fill the game, but then they'll have the occasional like unique asset. So we need nope, that's Oblivion Caves. You little bit of clever storytelling about how they're mining into the Imperial sewer. Nope, now it's just a door. Alright, we're in Crumbling Mine right now. Our next dungeon is Fanacase's School. Which is Big Boy Alien Ruin number 37. You can always tell this is the entrance, because there's always tons of stairs next to the alien entrances. Because the designer was very clearly worried about clearance issues. With the player's suspension of disbelief. And of course, not as worried as he should be about... Oh, why am I teleporting it to the cell that we're in? No, Crumbling Mine. What door? Should be this one. You linked door? Look at that. This dungeon only gets longer by the minute. What's going on here? We are making the Oblivion dungeon overhaul longer. Technically, we're adding a merchant too, but I'm not doing that on stream. Because that's a lot of like boring experimentation. This is what I know how to do, which is just link dungeons together. The hope and dream is to one day have all the dungeons. Have all the dungeons linked. And then we start making new ones. Alright, so it drops us off into this ruin. What the fuck are these? Ambient dungeon light points? Oh, that must be like, but why are they in the middle of nowhere? Why are there so many leveled monsters? Oh, it's an undead alien ruin. Of course. Dungeons in Oblivion are the reason I ultimately always get bored of the game. I know. That's what's funny. And people have said that mod was interesting because, like, because you can't get anything else, you just have to come to terms with Oblivion dungeons. And maybe at some point, I'll actually work on improving the dungeons themselves. But, yeah, this is excessive. Do you see how many of these leveled monsters there are? Good lord. Now, once you get out, and this is the dirty truth that only 3 people ever found out, because I think like only 3 people have ever actually beaten this. Once you get out, all the dungeons are just broken because I unclip all the entrances and just I could do it right, and the way you would do it right without affecting the overworld dungeons is to just, instead of using the dungeon itself, I would go copy cell, paste cell, and then edit the copied cell. I'm not doing that. Part of the reason I'm not doing that is that this keeps the file size down. Now, sure, you might come up on Fanacasicool. You might come up on Fanacasicool in the wild, and then you'd go to the door and it's like, oh no, the door doesn't work because it was used in the dungeon mod. So that's why I say that don't leave it installed, basically. All right. So, hang on, I gotta pull up a map. I have a folder in my browser. It takes me to the UESP organization page, and then I go to the ruin. I can see the map. This is another. Can't believe we're getting so many like 1-level dungeons in a row. I kind of just put them in. There's the order to them. It's Iliad Ruin, Cave, Fort, Mine, Iliad Ruin, Cave, Fort, Iliad Ruin, Cave, Fort, Mine. So it's set up in a way where it's just even representation of those 4 dungeon types, even though there's not really that much difference between caves and mines. There's kind of a difference. They use different assets, but they look the same. Most people just say that the mines are caves, so there's not a difference. Not really. Okay, so this is a problem that I run into a lot. So the player goes to this area, and they get here, and they're presented with 2 paths they can go down, and both paths are dead ends. This leads to a boss level Iliad coffer and a boss level undead, and then this leads to like 10 Welkin stones and 4 Iliad casks and 1 Iliad. 4 Iliad casks 0-1, 2 of those are locked, and 1 Iliad cask 0-2. I hate when they do stuff like this. Maybe it's kind of realistic to how an underground city would be laid out. But as far as like dungeon flow goes, it just creates the situation, and I'm kind of looking at it. Well, no, okay. I was thinking maybe there was some way that like you have to go down this route, and then there's like a button you press in here, and it opens this door. But no, there's just a pressure. Why? Is it because we're keeping Demi-Lich, king of this Iliad ruin, trapped inside this room? Why are we doing that? Am I going to fix the Oblivion Gates? So I tried to use the Oblivion Gates, and the problem with the Oblivion Gates is how they work. They're basically... the game has this script it runs when an Oblivion Gate opens, and it like populates the gate from 7 like preset worlds. And I couldn't figure out how to make that work because with the flow of the mod, you go straight from the sewers in the tutorial into the mod. So you don't go to Kavach. So it was just like a lot of quest scripting I'd have to figure out. I was like, yeah, it's for the benefit of putting Oblivion in this, which, Oblivion's a big part of it, but are Iliads actually drow? I think the Dunmer are the drow of Elder Scrolls, or that's the intention anyways. They don't like committing to the evil races idea. So I kind of want to make the player go through the Iliad boss. So what we have to do then is this has to go away. Now what are you? ARRM corner 01. Okay. So we just track down Iliad ruins, static architecture. Dungeons. ARRM. Should have seen what this block was called. Hang on. It's Wall 01. Of course. Of course. Why would it not be? Exit narrow. Oh, so complicated. But did they adhere to the standard... Yeah, they did. Oh my god. Sometimes they don't adhere to like the standard... What is this called? It's a thing that clips the pieces together. And when they don't do that, then you actually have to get into the hard part of going in here and setting these X, Y, and Z coordinates. But they did all that for me. And they stayed on the 30-degree rotation, too. So, good on them. You're going to notice, if you actually play through this mod, a lot of the dungeons are slightly different than the Oblivion counterparts because they don't have doors where I need them. Because I noticed this. I was entertaining an idea for a series I could do. And I'm not going to tell you what the series was, but I will tell you that I noticed that there's never an instance in like Morrowind or Oblivion where you enter a cave and then you exit the cave and you're in a different part of the map. So, and that's not true because you can go through Kogarun. You go through Kogarun, you enter in the Ashlands, and you exit inside Red Mountain. But it's generally the rule. Whereas in Skyrim, there's several like pass areas where you enter and you exit in different areas. Ah, you're not going to line up. Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard. Alright. It's not hard at all as long as the original dungeon designer actually stuck to the fucking coordinate grid. So the next area we're going to... Aliens are kind of portrayed in an exclusively evil light. But yeah, you're right there. Aliens are portrayed in an exclusively evil light for the 0.2 seconds that the flashlight was turned on. They barely get any screen time. Okay, so this should be a big cave because I'm seeing 5 cells attached to it. Oh yeah, this looks like a big cave. Where the fuck's the entrance? Oh, it's right here. One thing I have to give them credit for is they always put this is the north marker, and it basically indicates which direction on the compass it's supposed to point. Now I want to ask you guys, I'm going to put this out to the chat here. Have any of you ever noticed that the compass stays consistent when you go in a dungeon? Is there a single person who went through the door of a dungeon and said, wait a second, north used to be to my 6 o'clock, now it's to my 8 o'clock. What the fuck, Bethesda? I didn't know this was something you're working on. You play version 1.0 right now. You can find... It has basically the thumbnail of the stream, just without the hashtag GigaGrindSet. Merch coming soon. And you can play 1.0. It's got 50 dungeons in a row. Mr. Private Sessions is supposed to be streaming it, but I don't think he is today. Alright, so we're going back to this, and, well, there's only one door, and it's the right one, so there we go. Just fix these up. In Oblivion or Skyrim, in either of those games, even in Morrowind, because there's technically a compass in Morrowind. What kind of things do I change about the dungeon? I link them all together. Okay, so you are streaming? Are you streaming after the premiere? Yeah, nobody notices. All right, so Crayfish Cave looks like a giant clusterfuck, and I hate when it's like this. But at the same time, it's great for the content because you play this and you get confused because the first area has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fucking doors in it. Seed door, okay. Outdoor leads outside naturally, but in this case, it just leads back to an alien ruin. C door leads to crayfish capillaries. D door leads to crayfish vents. F and E door lead to a zone called crayfish steep. And G door leads to zone crayfish soggy bottom. So now we have to wrap our head around what the layout of this dungeon is. So the C door leads to this ruin. And this doesn't go anywhere. And while it has a bunch of monsters and chests in here, the boss is not in there, so we're not putting the door in there. So we can ignore the C door. The D door leads to the H door, which goes to crayfish soggy bottom. So crayfish vents, which is like across from the door, leads to crayfish soggy bottom. My God. And it's massive, and there's a boss in this area, and then crayfish steep. What the fuck? Oh, there's rock walls. Why? There's a boss in here too. Why? The hidden vampire cure room. What? Oh, okay. I got really confused there. Basically, what the hidden vampire cure room is if you start the vampire cure quest, this cave is near where you'll be asked for grand soul gems. And so the idea was they would ask you for grand soul gems. You would leave. You would immediately decide to go into the first cave that you found. You would do this massive dungeon with like 57 monsters inside it, and you would find this one specific room that only appears if you do the Vampire Cure quest, which has a single Grand Soul Gem that you have to fight a boss level monster to reach. I saw this. I didn't realize it was like this. Okay. Now, what does F door lead to? F door leads to crayfish cave. What? No, that's where we came from. Wait, what? Okay, hang on. What the fuck? This is... Oh, that might be why. This is E door, and this is F door. But then when we go to crayfish steep, let's see. When we come to crayfish steep, which one is which? Like this is F door and this is E door. What? There's no... The ideal of dungeon design is that you'd be able to take all of these independent zones and just put them into one area and still have it make logical sense. Like, the Imperial sewer, prison sewer, the tutorial area, the White Rooms parts all fit together. The tacked on dungeon is like really warped. Okay, so we've got E and F door and crayfish steep, and then we got soggy bottom that you get through G and H door. H door was it's that one and that one, and it's also a massive area. But Oh my god. In Soggy Bottom, which we're just going to fly right back past that name. In Soggy Bottom, there is one boss level monster, 4 to 7 monster enemies, with an 80% probability that it's a monster and 20% probability that it's a rat. And then 5 what are called nuisance animals. I've mentioned this before. They literally knew that these are just speed bumps. And so they added a leveled monster list, which is just rats and mud crabs. Okay, so what door is this? This goes to Crayfish Cave. Okay, so this is G door? What? That's not the G door. Unless we're in the wrong area. Or we're really confused. G door is supposed to be in the middle of the map. You sure that's not the H door? You see what I mean? Like every now and then I had to deal with this. Okay, this looks like that area, and this should be where the boss monster is. So we're going to take this. Do we want to take that? I don't know. CSRM wall 01D. Okay. You guys fuck with that, right? CSR? Yeah, CSR. It's this one. So, in theory, I could just... fit. Oh, hey, it worked. Sometimes you'll notice that there's just a gray box void behind the door. Okay, don't at me. Do you see the chaotic evil mess that I'm dealing with here? Alright, cave door. I love C door 3 because it lets you see the least through the door. Alright, to the spreadsheet. We're next going to Silvertooth Cave. You lead outside? Ha, not anymore. Now you lead to Crayfish Cave 5. Where the player will probably be fighting like a fucking troll in this murky hell. Remember, if you leave this mod on and you go to do the Dark Brotherhood quest where you gotta kill the guy in prison, you have to go through the whole dungeon again. You just have to do it backwards. So we're in Silvertooth Cave now. Tell me more. It is a, quote, medium-sized cave, end quote, with 2 zones. Okay, that's really easy to follow. I mean, it's not easy to follow. It's a convoluted fucking spaghetti mess. Look at this. Look at this. Someone worked really hard to make this, and then everybody's just going to boil it down to lol, repetitive dungeons. And it's like, dude, this was somebody's day at Bethesda. Like, I know I showed how easy it is to replace a wall in like 5 seconds, but it's a lot harder to make a dungeon from scratch. Will the quest marker lead you to him? That's the thing. I've tried to understand how the quest marker reacts to this mod, and it gets really confused until like halfway through when it will start pointing at the exit. And so like halfway through, the quest marker will actually join your team and like help you get through the dungeon by pointing you to what the exit door is. But until that point, it's just really confused because Oblivion is not supposed to have 57 fucking interior cells between you and the quest giver. Just admiring. All right, Silvertooth Cave 2. I mean, look at this. That wasn't even it. It keeps going. Where's the door? Okay, so the door's there, which means that this is the boss area. Max in the base game is probably no more than 20. I have a feeling you're right. What kind of dungeon is this? Must be a vampire cave. Goblin lair. Okay. I mean, it fucks, you know? So the king goblin's just living in a little hole. And there's just God shining a little light in there. Trying to make levels in Unreal Engine has made me appreciate level designers. Yeah, that's kind of what pisses me off about a lot of reviewers who just kind of wave off the effort that went into this. Like, some serious work went into doing this. Now, you can definitely say it was misguided and that there should have been more focus placed on, like, distinguishing the dungeons. But to just say that it's, like, lazy and it's just, oh, I'm going to drop 57 assets in here. Boom, dungeon's done. No. Nope, it took effort. So I don't want to really touch that. I think the player will probably aggro the goblin. I think a door over here would fit better. The problem is, it's deceptive. You think, oh, this is just one thing. Nope, it's two things. So, you actually have to pick something like this. CRM wall 05C. CRM? Oh, no, wait. It's CRM, not CSM. Do these work? Does this work? Does this work? No. This is just walls. How about transition? No. Am I gonna play this afterwards? No. I'll play it at some point because I gotta play test it, but I'm not gonna stream it. No, after we're gonna watch the premiere. I'm gonna be in the Discord. Actually in the chat, but I'm not gonna listen to everybody talk. If Tetramore is on, I'll invite him in. Okay, so we've got this wide hole in the wall. I guess that means we have to transition into a hallway. Nope. And see, if you did this all day, you'd probably get really good at knowing what all the pieces you need are. No, I'm not playing after because I still have to do the merchant. That's kind of the big feature I'm supposed to be selling for this mod. Okay, I'm at a loss for words here. 1 second. We're just gonna undo some stuff here. Oh, look, it's the old cave wall. I'll work better when I can make a small modification. Yes, I see what those are. These caves are a nightmare. Why am I not responding to the Mad Dog's DMs? Why doesn't he send me them? I guess we'll do it after all. Might as well, right? So what are you? CW, Hall, and Cap 01C. CW, gross. Oh yeah, this would have been like way easier. Look at that. Look at that. Look, you dumb motherfucker. It's the easiest thing to do. Okay. Get it off the snap grid because it won't look as good. Hashtag Giga Grind Set. I gotta get used to saying it right if I'm gonna make it merch. Okay, so what time is it? 11:42. I think I'm gonna say that this is the final one for now. So we've added 1, 2, 3, 4 dungeons. 2 of them are pretty massive. So we'll just bold that. Maybe bold that. There it is. When it gets small, it like doesn't show all the options. So we need to have it exit to teleport to no. Silverfit or Silvertooth Cave Exterior. It's got 1 door. Congratulations. After 54 odd dungeons or so, you're in the middle of nowhere. Why do goblins live up here? They wear loincloths. I have a lot of questions about the goblins in Oblivion. Alrighty. Whoops, gotta mute Discord. Accidentally unmuted it. Nobody's messaged me, but if I leave it unmuted, then people do. Because they know that's a fast way to get into the stream. Alright. So I kind of did a thing where I was like, Icy Market District Mystic Emporium copy. Yeah. This is where we started. This is Mr. Patrician. I don't know where it says his name. I think I have to go through here. It used to be you could just click on the NPC and see everything. And with Oblivion, they changed that. One question I'd like to ask about the goblins is why they take 800 million hits to kill. Yeah, that's a good question. I have the same thing about zombies. So, apparently, if you do this, you no longer sell stuff. I don't know why. Personally, I think that like the chests to do the merchant inventories is dumb, but they do it for a reason. It's because if I put a bunch of shit in his inventory, he just fucking players would just kill him. Even though that seems kind of dangerous. We can work on the spells. Let's see. A default player will have, at most, what spells do you start with at default? Does the UESP say? Or do I have to... In Morrowind, so I worked on a mod like this for Morrowind, and I could actually edit, you can actually edit like all the default spells really easily. No. Maybe if I look at the skills. Just go skill by skill. Like for instance, if you pick Alteration, what's the starter spell? It doesn't say anywhere. Alright, players with Alteration as a major skill start with Protect, which is shield 5% for 30 seconds. And open very easy lock, which opens a 7-point lock on target. If you start with Conjuration, you get Turn Undead, which affects Undead up to level 3. And Summon Skeleton, which summons a skeleton, of course, for 40 seconds. You start with Destruction, you get Cold Touch, which is frost damage 15 points on touch. Every player gets Flare, which is fire damage 6 points on target. There are people who sell Flare? What the fuck? Why? Why are there people set to sell the default fire spell? Dude, I was scouting out for the Skyrim video, and one of the things that I have to do is cast a fire spell on a rune, and the fucking person added a flame book right before that. You start with flames in Skyrim. I don't understand. Why are they like this? Players, if you pick Destruction, you get Shocking Touch, which is 10 points shock damage on touch. And then if you start with Illusion, you get Calm 2 points 15 seconds. Or Calm up to level 2. And Light 20 feet 60 seconds on Self. There is no Skyrim video. There will be one day. The Skyrim streams are going to be legendary. If you start with Mysticism, you get Dispel 25 points on Self and Detect Life 60 feet for 10 seconds on Self. If you start Restoration, you get Absorb Health 5 points on touch and Heal Minor Wounds. And that is it. So, First, we'll start with alteration. He should offer a spells. He should offer a mysticism spell. Is there a way to sort it by schools, or like what are we doing here? What the fuck? Who used this? Oh, no wonder magic's a clusterfuck. Okay, open. Have it so you can get open easy lock. Honestly, probably should put novice lock in there too, just because people might not be able to cast apprentice level alteration spells. I'll give you something to do. Something else you could give them: protect, shield. They call it different names for it. Shield novice, shield apprentice. And then maybe like a, let's see, what else could we do? Feather. It's really all you need. I mean, yeah, there's going to be that one guy who wants to run like shock shield. There's always that one guy. But get fucked. Feather apprentice. Okay. Next is going to be, did the mysticism. Now let's do conjuration. Dude, binding stuff is so fucked in Oblivion. It's terrible. I don't know who had this idea. Someone had the brilliant idea of making it where 50 levels of conjuration gives you blunt weapons, and then this level 75 you get a bladed weapon. Give it so you get the dagger and the axe, because that's novice and apprentice. Does anybody want bound armor? Give you the helmet and the greaves, because I'm a nice person. Let's see. Turn undead. I don't understand why. I didn't understand why you would want turn undead, and then I played this mod. And then you want to be able to summon something. Alright, hang on. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to summon a ghost. Put a 2 in the chat if you want to summon a scamp. Put a 3 in the chat if you want to summon a skeleton. And put a 4 in the chat if you want to summon a zombie. Those are all apprentice level summons. Who wants to summon zombies? So gross. Oh, it's such a mix-up. People like the scamps, and they like the skeletons. Nobody likes the ghost. Can the ghost even take damage from, like, normal weapons? Yeah, the ghost can't take damage. No, not a single person voted for the entity that resists normal weapon 100%. But looks like I'm gonna offer the zombie and the scamp. Yeah, but nobody has either a silver or a Daedric weapon in this mod until like you get to level 5. But hey, you guys picked. All right, destruction. That's holy fuck. There's a lot of apprentice destruction spells. Why? Why? Why is that how you sort it? Whatever. Or not even apprentice. These are all novice destruction spells. Novice restoration. There we go. Here's the list. Wait, no, never mind. Those are all Jiggalag spells. Why? Why are the Jiggalag spells in here? I'm aware I'm creating a roguelike, right? Yes. That's what's funny about it. Alright, I need to give people a fire spell, so we're looking for Burning Touch. Just sort it by name. Fuck it. So Burning Touch is a novice level fire spell that does 10 points on touch, which is better than Flare. Flare does 6 points on target and costs more. I think in a future version there will be a Spellmaker at like after Dungeon 20. Because I know that's a big weakness right now. And then, let's see. Why are you like this? Why? Cold Touch does 15 points of frost damage on touch. Costs 23 magicka. Novice level spell. I don't know why there's a difference, but there is. Alright. Do I give people disintegrate armor? Are there enough people who would use disintegrate armor? No, there's not, because it costs 43 magicka. What the fuck? Dude, you'd have to cast it like 20 times to break their armor. Most people wouldn't be able to do that. What about some damage attribute stuff? Nobody's big brain enough to do damage fatigue and knock people down in Oblivion. Damage health is something I should probably give people though. Because you get, well, no, it. Okay, so the gimmick of damage health is that there's no racial resistances to magic. I kind of cringe saying that because I don't actually know if that's true. But in theory, like you can use you can use damage health, and it'll damage Nords and Dunmer, basically. Because if you stick with fire spells, then you know you're gonna fight Dunmer, and it's like, why is my spells not doing any damage? Tropic Touch. And then we want. I'm gonna have to give him Spark. Spark is shock damage, 10 points on target. Bretons and orcs have resistance to magicka. Yeah, that's what I was thinking was like, I'm gonna say that, and then I'm gonna be like, no, there's people that resist magic. Can I not modify mana cost to make disintegrate armor more worthwhile? I can, but I don't want to. That's Bethesda's fault if fucking disintegrate armor's useless. And then there's no point of having disintegrated armor if there's no fucking durability in Skyrim. So, that was just the novice destruction spells, guys. Alright, so we're going to give them Electric Touch. That's an apprentice level shock spell. Touch is electric. You gave him a target spell for novice, touch spell for entropic bolt. Oh my god, there's like 37 entropic bolts. Which one's the real one? I know which one it is. It's this one. Yeah. Flash bolt is what the next one should be. Because I'm trying to give people both a touch and target spell for each effect. So flash bolt. Hailstone. Oh shit, the premiere's starting. Alright, I'm out. Go watch the premiere of the new video, and I'll be in the Discord.